Hello friends. So today's concept is all about that I'm trying to make you understand what are assets. Okay. So today is Ugadi, and just because of that reason we are not having session, but still I'm happy and to give you an online video session. Okay. Fine. Let's begin. We will try to understand what is an asset. In the previous sessions, we have tried our level best to understand what is a liability, what are types of liabilities that we have. Okay, and today's session we will try to understand what is meant by an asset, what are types of assets we have in a business. Okay, so what is an asset in general? So asset is nothing but anything which adds future value to the business is called an asset. Okay, so and in I can put it in other way as well. That is, an asset is anything which will enhance or increase the revenue generating capacity of the business is called an asset. Okay, let's take an example. I own a rice mill. I have a rice mill, and there is a machinery which processes paddy into rice. Okay, in the plant. I have only one machinery with me, which by processing paddy into rice, I'll get money, right? This is my business. So suddenly I got a thought and I bought one more machinery in my plant. And with the help of one machinery, I'm able to produce 100 bags of rice in 1 month. And with the help of one more machinery, I can able to produce another extra 100 bags of rice. So don't you think that additional machinery which I bought and installed in my plant is an asset to my business, because it adds value to my business or it increases my revenue generating capacity? So that's why I call it as an asset. Okay, so let's take some examples. Land, yes, which is an appreciable asset. Okay, which adds value to my business in the future. Definitely, if I buy a plot of land today with 10 lakhs, after 10 years, obviously it will be doubled or it will be more than what I bought it for. Okay, and if you take the example of buildings, machinery, furniture, all these things will have a futuristic benefit to the business, will generate some revenue earning capacity to the business. That's why we categorize all these items under assets to the business. Okay, and we'll try to understand what are all the types of assets we have. Generally, it is two types: short-term assets and long-term assets. Let's start discussing few words about the long-term assets. Long-term assets means non-current assets. It means these are the assets which provides benefits to the business for more than 1 year are called long-term assets. That means these are the items, these are the things which provides long-term benefit to the business. Let's say more than 1 year, right? I'll repeat it once again. Long-term assets are nothing but those are the assets which provides benefit to the business for more than 1 year period of time. Those are called long-term assets. Let's take some examples for your better understanding. Land, building, furniture, machinery, plant, etc., etc., etc. All these things are also called as a fixed assets, which provides revenue earning capacity to the business for more than 1 year period. That's why we categorize it as a long-term assets. And then let's try to dig it deeper and try to understand what are short-term assets. Short-term assets are nothing but these are the assets which provide benefit to the business for less than 1 year period of time. So what I can say, uh, let's take some examples so that you will understand it in a better way. Cash, cash equivalents, stock, that is nothing but the inventory, and debtors, all these things, etc., etc., etc. I can even include marketable securities. All these are all categorized as a short-term assets into the business. Why we are calling it as short-term assets? Because these will generate benefit to the business within 1 year period of time. Cash, it's a ready cash which immediately benefits the business. And bank balance, you as a business, I can go to my banker and can withdraw my money. Yes, within 1 year period of time I am fetching benefit to the business with my bank balances. And debtors, These are the persons who took money from the business, and I need to get it within let's say 3 months or 6 months, or most probably it will be for less than 1 year period. That's why we categorize it as a short-term asset. And then inventory. Inventory is nothing but the stock which is left over in the godown of the business, and these will also give short-term benefit to the business. As soon as I sold the my finished goods, I'll get back the money from my customers. Let's say it will not be more than 1 year period. It will be, let's say it will be around 30 days or 45 days term. That's why we categorize it as a short-term asset. So these are the two bifurcations broadly that assets can be categorized. And if I dig little bit deeper and try to understand, assets can also be categorized on the basis of their physical appearance. Yes, obviously. On the basis of their physical appearances, assets are categorized into two types again. So tangible assets, intangible assets. So what is tangible assets? These are the assets which we can see and touch, which will generate benefit to the business. Both the short-term and long-term assets can be categorized here, can be clubbed here. It means land, building, machinery, and not only that, inventories, cash, and bank balances. All these things will form part of the tangible assets because we can see and touch, we can experience it, right? And let's come to the other side of the coin, that is intangible assets. Intangible assets are nothing but these are the assets which we cannot see and touch, but still we get lot of benefit to the business with this kind of assets, which generates I can say long-term benefits, which gives long-term benefits to the business. Yes, I'll repeat it once again time. Intangible assets are the assets which we cannot see and touch, but which will generate the benefit to the business in the long term. Okay, let's take some examples. Goodwill, patents, copyrights, intellectual property rights, royalties, all these things will provide benefit to the business for more than 1 year in general. Let's take the example of the goodwill. What is goodwill? Goodwill is nothing but the reputation that the company or the business have in the market. With the help of that reputation, with the help of that goodwill, the business will gain benefit for more than 1 year naturally. So that's why these are the intangible assets. These will generally tend to provide benefit for more than 1 year. If you take examples of copyrights, if you take examples of trademarks or intellectual property rights, brand values, all these things will generally give benefit to the business for more than 1 year. That's the basic idea. Okay, so I hope you have understood the session, and we try to understand, we try to crack what is meant by an asset. Okay, an asset is anything or any item which provides future benefit to the business, or I can put it in this way: an asset is anything which enhances or increases the revenue earning capacity to the business. Okay, so and we try to understand short-term and long-term assets, right? Long-term assets are called non-current assets, short-term assets are also called as current assets. And what is long-term asset? Long-term asset is nothing but these are the assets which provides benefit to the business for more than 1 year period. That's why we call it as a long-term asset and non-current assets. And examples: land, building, machinery, furniture, etc., etc., etc. These are also called as fixed assets to the business. And then we try to break down and understand what is a short-term asset. Short-term asset is also called as a current asset. Current asset means these are the assets which provide benefit to the business for less than 1 year period. Yes, so obviously if you look at the examples, right, debtors, cash, cash equivalents, marketable securities, and inventories, all these things will form part of current assets to my business. Yes, and then based on the physical appearance, we categorize assets into two categories. One is tangible asset and the other is intangible asset. Tangible assets are nothing but these are the assets which we can see and touch and which provides benefit to the business, right? Both the short-term, long-term assets can be categorized or clubbed under the tangible assets. Okay, examples: land, building, or inventories, cash and cash equivalents, marketable securities, everything will form part of it under tangible assets. And intangible assets, these are the assets which we cannot see and touch, but we can experience and we can gain a lot of advantage or lot of benefit to the business. Naturally we gain benefit for more than 1 year in generally. Okay, if you try to examine the examples, goodwill, patent, copyrights, and trademarks, royalties, brand values, etc., etc., will give benefit to the business for more than 1 year generally. That's why we call these intangible assets as a long-term nature assets, which gives benefit for more than 1 year. Thank you guys. I hope you have understood it. If not, please do let me know. Please comment it. Please do share your feedbacks, which will help me in improvising my sessions. And I hope you will have a great year ahead. Have a great luck. Have a great success. And I hope I'm satisfying your expectations. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye bye.